What's going on, Godzirra Nation? This is ArghGodzirra. Welcome to the first week of the AFL Finals. Thank you for joining me for another tipping video. I completely forgot that they scrapped the bye round for the weeks between round 23 and the first round of the finals. So this is coming out a day before the first finals being played. I apologise. But before we have a look at the finals and I give my predictions as to who I think is going to advance and who will be eliminated, we need to have a look at round 23 and see how things ended for the home and away season and our tipping competition as a whole. So, recapping my tips, we led with the Bulldogs by 19. They lost by 2 points to Port Adelaide, which now makes it 3 in a row I think the Bulldogs have lost. And a team that I thought had one hand on the premiership about a month ago, now looking at possibly being eliminated round 1 is huge. We had Richmond versus Hawthorn end in a draw. One of the best finishes to a game I've seen in a very long time. Best, performance in 10 minutes that I've seen Richmond dish out in God knows how long. I've never been happy to see a draw, but I was happy to take this one. Then we tipped Sydney. Absolutely smacked the Gold Coast. We tipped Brisbane. They took West Coast to town. We tipped... It's not showing who I tipped for the Melbourne game here. Did I tip Melbourne or Geelong? I tipped Geelong. We got that wrong. I think there's something glitched out with the thing here because I tipped Geelong. We got that wrong. I tipped GWS. Got that right. Is this showing that I didn't put any tips in? It's showing that I put no tips in. Because I tipped Fremantle, I'm pretty sure. We tipped Essendon, which should have been a tick. And we tipped Adelaide. I've been robbed. I have been robbed. So in all matter of fact, they've given me... How many ticks have they given me here? Let's have a look. They've given me 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then I should have gotten a tick for Adelaide and I should have gotten a tick for Essendon. And I'm pretty sure I tipped Fremantle. So I should have finished on 7. So that's very interesting. It doesn't change the overall stats all that much, because when we have a look at my overall here, it would have taken me to, 126, so I would have finished tied for 14th instead of finished on 24, so I would have moved up 10 spaces. That's not too bad, but we're going to start from the bottom. It's not to discredit anybody and show who finished last or whatever, but I just want to take the time to thank each and every one of you, all 66 of you, 67 including myself, that got behind this year's tipping competition. I seriously cannot thank you guys enough for getting on board. I hope all 66 of you come back next year. I'm torn with first place because I'm going to get technical with the first place position here. I might work something out for second place, which you'll understand why momentarily. But our top 10, finishing in 10th place, we have RK Big Boy, Tritter H came in 9th, Hanger 18 came in 8th, Rockstar Pool 69, my mate from England, who has never watched a game of AFL before, got onto the competition this year, had a crack, and finished 7th overall. I think he did a very good job. Onesie Lover, Nintendo TN, Brighton 75, and Chip 16. Now, the top 2, as you can see, both finished on 133 total tips. So this is where I'm torn with giving out my first place prize, because if you get down to technicalities, Is Don Is Good had the better margin overall, total margin, which actually ranks him at number 1. And I did say who finishes on top of the ladder number 1 wins. So Is Don Is Good Braden Y has finished number 1 overall, so he has won my tipping competition for 2021. But if you go off of total tips, Vince A has tied. So I'm not sure what I should do here. I'm going to leave it open to you guys. Do you think I should award both first and second place first prize because we have had a tie and I can do a split for the prize? Or does Braden Y win it outright? I'll leave it open to you guys. We've done this before in the past where I've left a decision in your hands. Feel free to do so. But congratulations to both of them anyway for finishing the total amount of tips the most for the year. Is Don is good, finishing rank 1 overall. Congratulations. It has been a battle between a couple of you the last couple of weeks. As I said, I am absolutely overwhelmed by all the support this series has had this year, this competition has had. Hope you all come back next year. But we're not finished for this year yet, because now we're going to turn our attention to the finals. And it's easier to tip, because we've only got 4 games to go through. The first of which sees Port Adelaide taking on Geelong at Adelaide Oval. Now, the last time these two teams met, Geelong defeated Port Adelaide 112 to 91. Will this be a playing factor into this game? I think it will be. I think Geelong win this game in advance. They'll have the week's break. I think Port Adelaide, even though they have been putting some solid games together to finish the year off, Geelong are going to be way too strong. And Geelong will get a comfortable win. I'm thinking 20 plus points. Then we've got the first of the elimination finals. We have Sydney taking on GWS. The last time these two teams played, we saw a huge comeback from Sydney, and Sydney defeated GWS 98 to 74. I think Sydney is going to win this game. I think they're better pressed. They have had an overall better season. GWS are still missing some key components to their team that are out injured, so I think that might come into play, whereas Sydney are pretty much fighting fit, ready to go. And as I've said, for probably the last month and a half to 2 months, I feel Sydney are the dark horse for the premiership this year. If I was to put money on an outsider that nobody's really talking about to win, Sydney would be the one I would back. The second of the top 4 hit it out, Melbourne, Brisbane. The last time those two teams met, it was Melbourne defeating Brisbane 97 to 75. But I feel the table's going to turn this time. I think Brisbane's last month, as I've said, they've become my premiership favourite. They have not just been putting teams away by little margins, they have been blowing teams out of the water. And heading into finals, that is the exact type of momentum you want to be running with. I've even doubled down on my predictions bet that I made earlier this year in my season predictions video, that if Brisbane Lions win the premiership, I will get rid of the beard and I will don the Joe Danaher mo. I doubled down. Some of you might think it's stupid. I could be looking like a fucking idiot, but thrown down with that. And I think after Brisbane's month and a half that they have had, I feel they've already got one hand on the premiership. That's just me. Feel free to argue that in the comments down below. And the final game of the round sees Bulldogs taking on Essendon. We have a team that went from premiership favourites, or one of the premiership favourites, to being defeated the last 3 games in a row, to Essendon, a team that nobody thought was going to make the top 8, and now is looking like a likely team to win their first final in the first 15, the last 15 years. Can they do it? Going off of the last time these two teams hit out, Essendon defeated the Bulldogs 97 to 84. 13 points. And it come down in the end to Peter Wright kicking 2 long-range goals to win them the game. So it's an interesting one, this one. I'm going to back the Bulldogs to win, which would mean Essendon and GWS would be the first 2 teams eliminated from the finals overall. But if Essendon win, we won't hear the fucking end of it. We will never hear the end of it if Essendon get up and win. And I'm not discrediting Essendon because they have played some good football. I feel Bulldogs aren't going to lay down and lose this game like they've laid down the last few weeks. Now, I'm not saying the Bulldogs laid down per se, but I mean, the Bulldogs, I think, will find another gear heading into finals where we don't know what Essendon are going to do. That's just my opinion. So recapping, I think it's going to be Geelong and Brisbane moving on to the second last week of the finals. And I think it is going to be a... Oh, what does it work out to be in the bracket? Does it work out it's going to be Port Adelaide plays Sydney and the Bulldogs play Melbourne? I think maybe. Because I'm thinking at this point in time, the grand final is going to be played between Geelong and Brisbane. I think those are the two likely teams that are going to make it through the whole way. Some of you are probably thinking I'm a little bit crazy for discrediting Melbourne finishing as minor premiers. We don't know how they're going to perform under pressure when it comes to the finals. We know Brisbane and Geelong in recent years have made finals and have won games in finals. So they're used to the pressure that is built up within the pot of finals. But we don't know how some of these other teams are going to perform. And it's going to be very interesting to see. But that's it for this video. Thank you for joining me as always. If you could do myself a favour and be so kind as to hit that like button down below. If you're new to the channel, hit that subscribe button down below as well. Once again, congratulations to Is Don Is Good finishing #1 overall. Vince tying for most total tips overall. As I said, if you guys feel I should split the prize, let me know. If we go by technicality and Is Don Is Good being ranked #1 overall, I just reward him the overall. I'll leave it to you guys, because I know you guys are compassionate, and you'll probably turn around and say, hey, split the prize between them. And I know I've been slack, but I still owe last year's winner, Matt, his prize as well, so don't worry, when I organise a prize for this year, last year's will get out as well. I apologise it's been that long of a wait. Again, to all other 64 people in the comp, thank you all. It seriously wouldn't have been as good a year as we've had without each and every one of you getting involved. But that's it from me, guys. I'm out of here. If you made finals this year, good luck to your teams this weekend. And as always, I will catch you guys next time.
Continue.